Levi, let's have some lunch.
No, not in the game. Don't get the watermarks on the board.
Hey, have you ever been in a situation where you've got to find some table space to play the game that you want? Ever had the problem of you want to play a game, but there's not enough space? Have you ever had problems where you play a game, stuff goes everywhere because you don't have enough space on the table to play properly? Accidentally knocking things over? Or what's worse, have you ever had table space being the enemy of when you want a snack or drink because while you're playing, you're thirsty, you want to eat, and there's no way to put your food? Otherwise, you'll put your board game at risk. Ever had those problems? Well, today we're going to talk about AdapTableTop. So this product claims to solve all these issues I've just mentioned before. Is this something that's going to work? Should you buy it? Stay tuned and find out, because I've been using this for a few weeks now, and I'm going to give you my honest opinion. You know, what I found, it's good, so, and not so good. Hopefully this will help you form your own decision on whether you should buy it or buy it for someone you know, so it can help them solve their tabletop space and level up their game. And here is leveling up for you. Hey, welcome back friends, my name's John.
And I'm Levi, and I'm directing this video today.
That's right, and together we'll level up the leagues. Now this is going to be another one of those videos where we review a product, share our thoughts and feelings on what we're using. So today we're reviewing a product called AdapTableTop, and I've got two boxes in front of me. One is the AdapTableTop and the other one is the player kit from the AdapTableTop. Both of these products came from the Kickstarter. That was about May 2020. I thought, wow, what a great idea, because I don't have much space. If this solves that problem, I'm willing to give it a go. Now, you don't have to take that risk, because hopefully this video will help you decide whether this is the right thing for you or your friend. Now today it's going to be about AdapTableTop, and as you can see, I've got something in front of me that takes quite a bit of space, particularly because it's got a lot of components and miniatures. That was a problem for us before, but now not so much, because the whole gaming table area can be lifted up. It's basically 3D now. I've got a playing area, I've got areas that stores my different boards and components, and there's no conflict between me, my board game, snacks, drinks, and all of that. Because let's face it, unless you're lucky to have a lot of space, tabletop space is going to be a problem, unless you have a big living space. Look, sometimes when me and my friends think about having a game night, we can't decide what game to play, because sometimes, depending on where we're going, we have limited board game space. And that shouldn't be a problem between you and your favorite board games, because time and money is precious. Man, you don't want to buy a whole table to play board game that you can only use once or twice, right? That's kind of silly. Look, I love epic games, I love grand designs, and I love the amazing gaming components. What I don't love, typically, is the space that's required to fit all of them on the table. Now, what about drinks and snacks? For someone who treasures their board game, these two things just don't mix well together. And that's where exactly AdapTableTop comes in. So this core product comes in boards of 30 by 30 centimeter panels, and essentially you can have legs of them. You can join them together, or you can use one by themselves. And look, this product focuses on easy, being stable, multi-level, monolithic. Now what does that mean? So as you can see in front of me, I've got Unk all laid out. It requires a lot of table space. So what is this Adapt table? Ah, surprise! The whole thing is on the Adapt table. So let's talk about the value of this table. First of all, does it add more space to your table? Yes, it does. And why is that is, for example, the basic use cases. I've got a table where I've got my board and my mini at service level. Anything can be stored underneath it. So I can put extra miniatures, chips, drinks, cards that I don't want to be in the way, stored away. So that adds space by itself. Now separately, have a look at this legs. Okay? You don't need the legs to be in the corner of the table. So assuming if this, where my hand is the table space, you gain a bit of extra table space on the edges of the Adapt table. So just by that itself, it gives you more table space. Now, is it quick and easy? Yes, it is. So it's relatively easy to set up. I can do this myself. My son can do it. It only takes us a couple of minutes. Once you've done it once, twice, it becomes pretty straightforward. This table, this AdapTableTop, gives you an alternative to save your game. Now, what does that mean? So at nighttime, if we need to leave this playing area, typically I have to ask Levi to pack up with me because this can't be on the dining table or where we work. But because of the other tabletop, it's monolithic, stable, and easy to transport, we could potentially move this whole table somewhere else while giving me table space to do what else I need to do. I no longer have to worry about not being able to reach for the things that I want. I hate having gaming components everywhere, in the back of my table, in the front of my table, on the floor, in a cupboard somewhere else, or other components in a different room. Now it mostly fits into one table, even for the biggest game. And for smaller games like Unk, I can fit everything on the table, including Nemesis, isn't it, Levi?
Yeah!
Yeah. Now what is really cool is the dice tower. We really enjoyed the dice tower.
I didn't work with the tower so much.
I know, right? And then of course another cool thing is it is modular and it is 3D, so depending on what you're using it for, you really have a lot of options. The base here is basically all holes. You can put your legs anywhere and you can connect different panels anywhere you like, into any shape you like that makes sense for what you're trying to do. So that is super cool. Plus, you can have 3D situations to build your scenario. Now for a board game that probably doesn't happen very often, but if you're into D&D, ooh, that's another world. All of these legs have got a thoughtful little rubber panel at the bottom, and it really helps because that means you can really put it on a lot of different surfaces without worrying it's going to damage your surface. And plus, of course, because it's nice grippy rubber, it doesn't slip. So even on a very slippery table surface like what I'm using right here, no problem. So the first thing is the playmats. The playmats is one of the components that comes with the player kit. Now, why is it not so cool is, I think as part of the Kickstarter, they didn't store it and package it in a way that is, let's say, friendly to the mat. It has this very annoying crease in the middle that just doesn't stay flat. So if you want to put your board game on top, good luck. It's not going to be very flat. Yes, there are ways you can manually make it straight and flat, but yeah, that just wasn't so hot for me. Okay, let's talk about the stabilizing clips. So there's a component inside both of these that allows you to clip onto the edge, clips onto the edge of your panel, yeah? And what it does is it helps you to build a 3D layer, or it is supposed to clip the surface, whatever you're playing on, to the board. So when you move it, it's not going to move the board around. Now, in practice, at least this Kickstarter version, that didn't work too well, so we don't end up using that at all. So I can see where it's coming from, but it's just getting okay for me. Okay, let's talk about this multitask tool. So this was a part of the stretch goal.
Yeah.
That you can put your leg into it and then it holds something. Now I'm assuming, for me it's just okay because it's just not that useful for me. Maybe more useful for someone else. Now why? This is big enough for a wine glass, for a goblet.
They also include some containers which you put food and put some stuff in there, like some dice.
That's right. So you can put containers in here, or you can put your glass or your cup in here. For me, it just doesn't work because my cup is much bigger than this and I don't drink wine. Now another thing is the card holders that it comes with these multitasking tool, for me they just didn't work very well. So I can see the application of this, but so far it hasn't been my favorite component, but I'm glad they included it. So that's an okay, a bad. Well, first of all, when we unboxed this product, it was thoughtful. It has a grip handle so you can travel with it. But when we started to unbox it, that box actually fell apart. So we ended up having to use tape. From lock to on. To keep the whole thing together. That shouldn't happen, so that wasn't so hot. What also wasn't very hot is when we tried to disassemble it the first time, the legs fell off. As in the component detached itself. Now, let's just say I broke it because of user error, but to my defense, it wasn't obvious to a user. of how to pull the legs out of these panels. I twisted it instead of pulled it, and then I broke it. So partly user error, but I was not happy when I first broke it. Next one. Oh, let's not start. The card stands. What is going on there, guys? Card stand. Can you see this? Can you see this card stand? It's just a piece of wood. Not cool. So two things is not cool. The first one is it is very ugly. It's just not visually appealing. Doesn't seem like a product. So the second thing of what isn't so cool with this is once you put it here, it is straight. So that means it's hard to read. So if I have my card holder down here, I can't really see it. It's not in an angle that's readable, it's just straight. So I think this has been an afterthought. Inner trays of this box. As part of the Kickstarter, we're supposed to get an inner tray that fits inside this box so when we travel with it or packing it up, it doesn't go everywhere and make a whole lot of noise. Probably is it a big problem? No, but it's just annoying. I like my stuff neat. So what happened? The last thing that isn't so hot are these containers. Now yes, they're going through multitasking too, as advertised, but they are so thin and tiny. I'm afraid to use them or squeeze them a bit too hard and they might break and snap. What? What? I was expecting something quite a bit better. So let's talk about the important thing of what are the key buying criteria if you are going to decide whether you should buy this product or from this company. The first thing is, this is a Kickstarter. I need to remind myself and other people. When you do something on the Kickstarter, which is a crowdfunded project, you are supporting the company, you're supporting the project. You're not buying a product. It's not a shop. So if you keep that in mind, pledge our support to the project, to the company who's trying their best to fulfill their promise to us, the people who kickstarted it and funded the campaign. Now it doesn't say if you give me X amount of dollars, you will definitely get this, yeah? So that being the context, even though it wasn't perfect, it didn't match everything in Kickstarter, that is important to remember. We back the project, not buy a product. So some of the defects and some of the not so hot stuff that I mentioned, I think it could be catered for into that bucket of, hey, you know what, we pledged a project, they try their best, shiitake happens. Another thing of considering whether you should buy from the company or the product is the company itself. So what does that mean? Now, when I got this and started using this for a little while and unboxed it, I reached out to the company to ask them for some input on how dysfunctional some of the things were or the mismatch of expectations. They were very nice. So the guy I've been dealing with, or the team that I've been dealing with directly, through email, through chat in the Facebook group and the Kickstarter, they're super nice. So anyone can make mistakes. It's how people handle it that determines whether I think that company is worth working with or people it's worth dealing with or not. And they never hid the fact that something didn't work, and they always were attentive to work out a solution. I'm impressed by that. AdapTableTop is a great little product that helps you manage your table space and solve table space related problems. Does it solve the problem and meet its promise? Definitely. Would I buy the product again? Well, it depends. If it's the core product, absolutely, because I think it's fantastic. It's already improving our quality of life. The player kit, however, you could probably skip it. Depends on whether you do actually need all the components or not. At the moment, the version that we have isn't the best quality, so I can't honestly back that. But look, if they improve the quality in the future iterations, I would definitely recommend to have a look again, and I would look at this kit again myself as well. Would I buy from the company again? Yes, I think the way they've handled my challenges and questions was done in a very professional way. What they've done so far make me believe they stand behind the product and their customers. So yes, I would recommend buying from them again. So if they do have another product, I would probably buy it. And in fact, yes they do. So they had an interactive miniature product that I've also backed because I just love the idea of it. At the time when I backed it, I haven't received this yet, so I didn't know, I didn't exactly have any bias on the company, I just thought it was a cool product, so I backed that. And then separately, they've also just launched a Kickstarter. I think it was just the last few days, where it's the next version of this AdapTableTop with LED lights. So that's very cool. Why is that? It's because right now, the bottom of this table, it's very dark because it's under the table. Assuming the light's at the ceiling, when it looks down, especially it's nighttime, you can't really see a lot under the table. So that's going to solve that problem, besides the fact that it looks very cool. So if you're in the marketplace looking for a solution to help you solve your table space problems and to level up your game, then I'll totally check that out. So we've given you our thoughts already. Levi, what do you think of the AdapTableTop? 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs from me too, because I think it solves the problem brilliantly. Now, what about this? The player kit.
Even the thing I love the most is even like the dice towers. Although they need a bit of time to assemble, as we are learning to assemble them, but now they're very useful with dice.
So how many thumbs for this one? 2 thumbs because of the dice tower.
Yeah.
Yes, so for me, it's 1 thumb for the player kit because a lot of things is okay, but the dice tower is a saving grace because it's great. Yeah, so yes for the dice tower, so for the mat, not so hot in the containers, not hot for the card holders. Dice tower, very hot. Multitask tools, so, and extra legs and components, so. 1 thumb for me.
2 thumbs for me.
Yeah. But now I can have my drink, my lunch, and cookie. So friends, if you find this video useful and you like our content, our channel does reviews, playthroughs on the board game and how board game improved family life and our gaming experience and our quality of life.
And if you have something to say about our very good videos and even reviews, give us a comment in the comments below.
Bye! Sorry, there's probably no dance today. We don't have enough space here.
Yeah, no thanks.